Hello everybody and welcome back to another C++ programming exercise. And now in today's video we're going to be going over programming exercise number 6. Now programming number 6 says, the history teacher at your school needs help in grading a true or false test. The student IDs and test answers are stored in a file. The first entry in the file contains the answers to the test. Every other entry in the file is the student ID, followed by a blank, followed by the student's responses. For example, the entry ABC 54321, true, false, false, true, false, true, false, true, false, true, false, false, true, false, true, true, false, true, indicates that the student ID is ABC 54321, and the answer to the question to 1 is true, 2 is false, and so on. Each correct answer is awarded 2 points, and each wrong answer gets 1 point deducted, and no answer gets 0 points. Write a program that processes the test data. The output should also be the student's ID, followed by the answers, followed by the test score, followed by the test grade. Assume the following grade scale: 9 through 100, 90 through 100% would be A, 80 through 89.99% would be B, 70 through 79.99% would be C, and so on. Okay. Now the first thing that we need to do is we need to declare, we should first declare and start with our, main function. First thing we need to do is we need to declare some, constants. So first up, we need to write in number of questions is equal to 20. After doing that, you need to come right there, and now I have this right there. I need to write in char exam grade int score. So what this function right here does is you enter your grade on the exam, and it will give you that grade in terms of A, B, C, video. Anyways, right here we need to declare some of our constants. Now a lot of these are going to be of type char. The reason for that is a lot of these will require us to do some stuff like a lot of these are almost all of these char are actually going to be C strings, meaning are actually character arrays, which means that they're all going to be storing characters in sort of like a string type of form, which is kind of one of the whole points of this chapter. Because sometimes using a C or character array is better than just putting them all into a string and then accessing each individual part of that string, when you can just take all of that information and put it into a character array. Especially if you need to get a string, it's gonna take a lot of time and effort into putting it all in and accessing each individual character. Anyways, let's get back on topic, and okay. Answer string is going to be number of plus 1 after doing that, what we will do, oh, and by the way, if you're wondering why we have this added 1 right here, is because that last one will be a space, if I'm correct. Now right here we have char ID 9. And then we have char ch. And then we have int score, int len, input file stream in file, and then int I for our for loops, or for our loops in general. Now in file dot open whatever file that you are using. My the file that I'm using is this. Make sure you just put whatever file you are using. Chances are you already know how to do this, the whole shebang, because you've already done this a good amount of times before. Anyways, after you do that, you write in if in file. If we were able to open in file, then if we were not able to open in file actually, then we cout cannot open the input file. Program terminating, period. Now after that, we just type in the window, return the file. Now after that, we can, since this, past this point, we know that our file was able to be processed, so we cout processing data, endo, and then in file dot get keystring, comma 21. Now basically what this does is I'm pretty sure I've already said this before, but it takes the next values, and it takes the next this number of values, and it stores them all inside of this array. Anyways, once we're done with that, we can cout key keystring endo, and then we have in file ID in file dot get ch, and then in file dot get answer Now here we're just getting the preliminary values because we need to get those values in our system first and foremost, because that's not how our while loop is going to work. Now we can actually take while. Oh, and by the way, just a little quick explanation. This is just here so that we are able to get all of the values beforehand, because all of this input stuff will happen at the end of our while loop that we're going to create. So now while in file, now we have len is equal to string length of answer string and len is for length, and now for I is equal to 0. I is equal to length or len, and now while I is less than 20, I plus plus answer string I is equal to and now we have answer string is equal to there. And now score is equal to 0. Now some of you may be wondering, why in the world are we ending this with the null operator? Well, some of you might actually not know what the null operator is, but it pretty much just has a value of absolutely nothing. It just has value of null. Anyways, as I was saying, you may not understand why we are ending it off with the null operator. Well, the reason that we are actually doing that is because we are doing that because ending a character string with a null operator actually takes care of a lot of the initialization for us. For example, in C++, a null terminated string is a character string stored as an array containing the characters terminated with a null character, meaning that it takes a big chunk of the initialization, declaration, all of that stuff. You don't have to do a lot of it, really. Anyways, let's get back to the code. So now after we are done with that, after we're done writing down score, we can write in for I is equal to 0, I is less than 20, I plus plus, if answer string I is not equal to a blank character, then if answer string I is equal to key string I and now score is equal to score plus 2, if not else score is equal to score minus 1. Now basically what this does here is that you can see, or you know what, I'll actually save the explanations for the end, and once we are done with this whole function, or once we are done with the main function, because it's going to make it a lot easier for most people to understand. Also delete that. Delete that. I have no clue why I added some of that. Okay, now once we have that, we can move on down. Oh wait, actually, never mind, yes. I actually did need this. Oopsies. Okay. Now after we're done with that, we can see out ID enter string score exam grade score and do. Then after that we have in file ID in file dot get ch in file dot get answer string comma 21. Now we can delete that space right there. See out and del, and then in file dot close. So I'm just going to quickly explain everything that is going on right here. So the first thing that we do is we, I've already explained all of this. We just bring in all of the values beforehand. And we bring in the ID, we bring in the ch, we bring in the answer string of the first student. So keep in mind, answer string is the string of the student. The key string is the actual key, the answer key. So now once we do that, we are ready to go into our while loop in which we can, do all of our calculations. So first up, we have the while in file. That is very simple. Just while we have not reached the end of the file, we do everything that is in here. Now so len in this case stands for length, as it almost always does. Now len, we have this for loop. Now for I is equal to length, so that means that I starts out as equal to length, and now while I is less than 20, and each recycle, I gets added by 1. Oh, and by the way, string length is actually equal to the string length of this answer string. So now while this is all happening, the answer string, I now basically what this for loop does is it actually adds spaces to your answer string in case the input does not have all of the amount of spaces. So you have to have 20 you have to have 20 whole characters inside of there. If there is not, then the program automatically adds characters so that the program does not break as a whole. Next, it sets the index of 20 to the null operator, because it has to do that, because setting the last digit to the null operator helps us out a lot in terms of declaration and initialization. And then we also set the score to 0 for that student. And now for I is equal to 0. Now I in this case is just a placeholder value. We've gone over that. Now for I is equal to 0, so I is set to 0 at the beginning. And now I is less than 20, and now each repetition I gets added 2 by 1. Now if the answer string is not equal to a blank space, then if the answer string with an index of I is equal to key string of the same index, then score gets added to it by 2. If that is not true, then score gets subtracted by 1. Basically, this is what happens when you get the right answer, and this is what happens when you get a wrong answer. So this is sort of what the answer key will look like. Just showing it right there. So you see, these are the blank spaces, and we're actually gonna have to. You can see that I'm not actually able. I'm clicking right here. You can hear my my mouse click. I'm trying to click and I'm trying to go, but there are no spaces right there. So we actually, have to add those spaces so that it doesn't break the program. Anyways, let's get back to this. So now we are able to enter our exam scores and such. We enter the answer string, and then we enter the grade given to it, and then we get in the proper information. We get the ID, we get and after getting that info, we repeat the loop. And then we close the file. Now we have to get to working on our function, but some of you may have the question of why in the world do we have the CH. Now, I may have gone over this before. In fact, I have, but I'm going to explain it to you one more time. Now, basically what this CH does is it acts as a placeholder value, just like I, for different sorts of values. Usually, why someone would just write in a random CH variable is because they need to use that as a placeholder for the space, because there's going to be a space in between the ID and the answer string. It's going to be a lot easier to just put that space inside of some random variable that you're never going to use than, add a bunch of stuff like take in all of those, delete that first, and delete everything in the index of 0. It's a lot easier to do it this way. Anyways, let's get to doing that function. Now this function is, although slightly long, very easy to understand. So all you need to do is you need to write in char exam grade int score switch static cast int score divided by 40.0 times 10. So basically what this does here is it takes the score and it divides it by 40 and then multiplies it by 10. And for each of those values, you'll have case 0, case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4, case 5, case... Oh wait, actually, we need to stop here at case 5. We'll just enter right there. Actually, we'll just keep on going. Case 7, case 8, case 9, case 10, default, so now after case 5, we just write in return F. After case 6, we enter return D. After case 7, we write in return C. After that, we write in return B. And then we write in, now 9 and 10 are actually part of the same little section. So then if it's 90 through 100, we return A. And then as default, we just return F. And now that is the end of the program. Now this little calculation up here may seem a little bit confusing to most. I agree. It took me a little bit of perfecting this method in order to find out how to actually calculate the grade, because the grade because this grade is actually calculated in terms of score rather than in terms of like a percentage, like a normal test. Instead, for each right answer, you get 2 points, and for each wrong answer, you get 1 point subtracted. So let's say that I got all 20 questions correct, which I did because I am very smart, of course. So what I do is I would get 200 points because 20 times 10 is equal to 200. And now 200 divided by 40 is equal to 5. Times 10. A second. Wait. I did something wrong with my math. Hold on a second. I was thinking a little bit weird. Okay, so basically the way that this works is that you'll have this calculator, okay? For some reason I was multiplying 20 by 10, which is not correct. You're actually supposed to multiply 2 by 20, which would give us 40. Now 40 multiplied by, 40 divided by 40 would be equal to 1 times 10 is equal to 10, which is an A. Now let's say that this score was in fact instead 38. 38 divided by 40 times 10 will be equal to 9.5, which is still a passing grade. Now let's say that on top of getting that wrong, they would actually have 37, or even let's say they had a 35. 35 divided by 40 times 10 equal to 87.5, which would belong in this category right here. Now this math may be a little confusing, but remember this is not a classic percentage style math or truth or false test. So as long as you sort of use this and try and understand it, then you will be good to go. Okay, now without any further ado, let's try and run this program. What? Oh, okay. This is supposed to be an int. Let's see if there's anything else. I don't think so. Okay, yeah, I don't think so. There's not anything. Oh. There we go. And now we should be able to run this program just fine. Okay, you see that? Now, the reason that there's actually able to be blank spaces here is because I don't know if you've ever taken any sort of those tests where it's actually better to not answer on some of them, because for the questions that you do not answer, points cannot be taken away. It's not like one of those tests where, you know, you're like, oh yeah, whatever, I'll just fill out all of them. I can just and I'll just have at least some sort of chance of getting it right. In these sort of tests, you have to be strategic. Like, if you do not have a surefire idea that that is the correct answer, then you just don't do it. Don't answer it. Anyways, this actually works very correctly. You can see that this right here with this ID has the exact same thing as the key, letter for letter. And these ones also didn't do too well as compared to this one. In fact, this one, none of them even came. The closest one that came was the one that got a 34 on their test, which missed it by so little. If they had just not answered, or at least gotten one more right, then they would have been good to go. Anyways, I hope you guys had a great time doing this programming exercise along with me, and I hope you guys continue to learn how to code and have fun doing it. See you guys in the next video, and bye.